Peggy, and I welcome you to something very special. You know, everybody's starting to get interest. People who've never had a garden, all of a sudden, there's this great surge of people who want to grow things. And I am just so pleased to have Hetty Dreskin here with me, and she is a master gardener. And she has something she calls getting ready for spring from the inside out. And you can see we have some beautiful plants. And with the cost of food, many people who never had a garden, all of a sudden they're wanting to grow something they can eat. And Hetty tells me it's easy.
It's as easy as you allow it to be.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, grocery stores are your friend, big box stores are your friend, nurseries are your friends, particularly the ones that are local and who have staff that are actually knowledgeable in what goes in the ground, where and when. Lots and lots of people just kind of grab things and stick them places, and that really is not the best idea. You need to learn, as you do when you put on your coat in the morning if it's chilly, what the cultural requirements of the plants are and what the cultural requirements of communities of plants can be.
But you know, you can have, we used to think you had to have, you know, a big piece of property. If you live in a condo or an apartment, or you can grow things as you have brought these lovely, lovely, I guess those you would put perhaps by your front door or something. They're kind of glamorous.
Well, not only that, you could put them in a garden bed as a focal point. They don't need to be put away carefully. I used to think very, very much so that just like framing a piece of art, you would frame the art. And then I thought, well, if you're going to do it with plants, you can pot the plants. But sometimes containers make a big difference, and they can be compatible with those things that you put in them.
Okay, that's important then, to give a little thought and have some knowledge where you put what.
Or find a good advisor.
Yeah.
And that's where local nurseries come in, and that's where the master gardeners come in. And before I go a whole lot further, I would like to thank you, Peggy, and your group for being so hospitable to the master gardeners and allowing us to come on your program.
This is great fun. And master gardeners, you know, it's open to anyone. Anyone can become a master gardener if they're interested and willing to commit the time.
That's correct. And we not only have the Master Gardener program, which is a course program with tests and exams and requirements for your time after you complete the course. We also have another program called Sowing and Growing, which is for the home gardener, which is a much shorter course and which is taught with the same information and by the same instructors as we have for the Master Gardener course, but you don't have any tests, you don't have any payback, and you can learn a great deal in only a few weeks.
Now, is this done through Clemson University Extension, both
Absolutely.
of the programs?
Absolutely.
So if you want any information, you can contact Clemson University Extension and find out all about these programs.
And there are extension offices in all the counties. We have one here at County Square downtown, and
every county has one.
Yeah.
So if you're not right in Greenville County, they're still open to you.
This is countrywide.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's a terrific program, and it offers lots of things, including some wonderful fellowship. There is nobody like a gardener for being sharing and caring. We transfer it from our plants to our fellows.
Now you say getting ready for spring from the inside out. So what does that mean?
Well, let's hope that we have spring this year, because it's going to be 70 today and 40 next week.
I know, you
somebody
never know.
is moaning about snow, but at least we don't live in New Jersey like one of my children. Getting ready for spring means that you assess your house plants. If they're too big for their britches, if they have issues, if they need to be contained, recontained, or chucked.
Okay.
You can do all of those things with your house plants. This is a piece of a plant. It's called Nephthitis, and it's a plant
May I
that
hold it up?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It's so pretty.
It's either trailing or climbing, and it has these aerial roots which will adhere to a rough surface. And if you take a piece that is rooted, and you can see the roots in the glass, you can begin a new plant. So a lot of the things you need to do with your indoor plants to get them ready for spring is, first of all, give them a bath. Plants get dusty just like
furniture, huh?
And yes, so, and they can't photosynthesize as well with the leaves covered with dust as
so
these
what do you
actually
do?
are.
Just run them under the faucet?
Under the faucet or in the shower, depending on the size of the plant.
Okay. And you've just put this in some water and let it stay.
Right.
And it roots itself.
Well, these roots were established, but yes, there will be more roots as the plant lives in the water.
And then you can take this and plant it.
Absolutely.
Now, would this be an indoor or an outdoor?
This is a tropical plant, and so it would need to live inside in the winter. But it could go out to what I call summer camp in the summertime. And summer camp is when you take everybody that's inside and you've cleaned them up and you've assessed both sides of the leaves for insects or pests or diseased areas, and make absolutely sure that there's nothing wrong with the plant. Then if you want to take them outside, if they're in an east-facing window and you want to put them on the other side of the window, give them a little bit of time, because just as we sunburn, so do plants. And they will have leaf scorch. So when I get ready to take my plants outside, I take them into the garage for a couple of days and let them acclimate to the weather and let them acclimate to more sunshine, because even in a shady situation, inside and outside don't have the same amount of UVs. And so ultraviolet light.
Well, but you could put it on a porch or a patio.
You could, but I would still give it a little bit of transition time before you put it right out there, because it needs to acclimate to the weather conditions as well. It's going to be warm and toasty inside still, but outside there is no climate control. And unfortunately, this year we haven't had a whole lot of it.
Well, you know what, Hetty? You treat your plants like children.
And
I can see it. But that's very pretty. And now this is what I love. And talk about growing something that you can eat.
This is actually a little grocery store baggie of watercress, and it was it's going to go into a waterfall that I have, which has running water. I mean, it's going to be in a pot tucked into the waterfall.
Okay.
Watercress is a stream-side plant, and it really would like to have not standing water, but it likes to be moist. And in the meantime, you can have it in your salad.
And it's very pretty. And of course, it's great chopped up in salads and whatever.
Charming little plant. And it, I'm kind of getting ready for Easter. This is a little Easter egg planter that I have been given.
You're ready for spring.
I'm ready for spring. Believe me, I'm ready.
And you can grow, if you see, you have these beautiful pots out here. Now, if you can grow strawberries. So what could you do if you had a big pot like that?
Well, can I get to there and point at different things, or am I too far away? Well, let me say, in this particular pot, I have annuals, perennials, bulbs, vines, grasses, herbs, and vegetables in one pot. A pot or container is a garden in microcosm. You can
see, that looks to me like it's crowded.
It is. It's entirely too crowded. What you need to do is start a little smaller. These plants have been in these pots unprotected for the most part for the better part of 2 years.
Oh my goodness.
There have been some tragedies and they have been replaced. But if you have a tragedy due to the weather, not with a plant or not with a pest or disease, give another chance a plant by turning your sad critter into compost. Have a compost pile where vegetable peelings, no meat or dairy
bones.
kinds of things, or bones, right. But any kind of plant material could go into a compost pile and over time become nutrient-rich soil to add to the fabulous red clay we have in our area.
So you would advise people, even people, you don't have to go and have a huge container. If you want to use your peelings and grapefruit rind and whatever you happen to have, apple peelings, potato peelings.
That's right.
you put them in a container.
Pits and seeds, you can put them in a container, covered container, so that you don't get wafts of wonder, or put them in a container, or put them in a contained area outside.
But it needs to have some holes in it, right?
Yes, yes. And you know, I have my compost pile in too much shade at this point, so I have cool compost. If your compost pile is out in the sun's rays will in fact heat it up and cause a more rapid breakdown of the vegetable material.
And then you add that to the soil, even in a house plant.
You can
Or what?
I wouldn't do it in a houseplant because if you have indoor compost, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you have outdoor compost and you add leaves to it, you have to have layers of greens and browns. And if you have that, you will bring in all of the critters that live in the outside.
You don't want that.
No. But you could definitely do, if you have a confined indoor compost bin, you could in fact do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as I said, these pots are really display. They've been in their containers for entirely too long. So what you should do is get the biggest pot you can manage, the biggest container you can manage, and fill it small. Give the little guys in there room to spread out. And as I said, these two pots.
I thought, it just seemed to me that there was a lot of stuff in there.
Way too much.
Now, will you take some of that out?
Absolutely. And the pieces that are perennials will go into my garden. The annuals will go to compost. And the herbs and vegetables will go into my dinner.
Okay.
So, so there's life after life. And another thing is there's this wonderful little Japanese maple seedling that's over here, and a beautiful fern that really did have kind of a rough winter.
I asked Hetty, I said, that big, tall limb, are you going to leave that in there?
And I said, no, it's going to the Master Gardener plant sale, which is going to be on May the 3rd.
That's great.
Good one.
And those are plants that have been lovingly raised by people like Hetty Dreskin and donated, and you'll get a healthy plant, and some of them for as little as $1.
The prices are remarkable.
Yeah.
The plants are almost exclusively homegrown by the Master Gardeners. We're starting our collections now. There's a group of Master Gardeners who go from house to house who have things that are extra. This particular little Japanese maple seedling, which is not named, is going to be one of the plants at the plant sale.
It will be a tree someday.
It will be about a 15-foot tree in the ground.
But that's beautiful. This particular container here is gorgeous.
Well, you've got a hydrangea, which is a
you've
shrub.
Got things blooming and green, and it's just lovely.
Thank you.
It is. And I think you'd say anybody can really learn to do this. It's not that difficult.
It's really easy, and you're smarter than the plant, Peggy. Okay. Because if it's not happy right here, if you move it 5 feet, you might thrill that sucker puppy thing.
So we're going to go to a quick break, but this plant sale is something that's fun to go to, and it is on May 3rd from 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and it's at what I call the old McAllister Square, which is University Square now on Pleasantburg Drive. And we're going to take a quick break, and Hetty has more to share with us, and I love that in the middle. That's beautiful. We'll be right back.